Question is from Pat Nori. What are your thoughts on cluster sets and how would you integrate them into maps?
You've been doing these, huh, Adam?
I have.
So I tried doing these Friday in my Friday workout, and I don't know if I did them right. So let me know what you think. So I picked a weight that I could do
12
like
reps.
max. No, okay. So I did something I could do like 8 reps. So maybe I went a little too heavy.
Yeah, that's a little heavy. You want something that you could do probably 8 to 12. You want something you can do 8 to 12 reps.
Okay, so then what I did is I would do like 4 or 5 reps and I'd rest 20 to 30 seconds, but I think the rest was too long.
Shorter, yeah.
Okay, so what do you do?
15-second. So first of all, I don't, and I know I'll get DMs. So I'll get somebody telling me what the original. The
origin of the cluster.
Right, of the cluster set. But when I've looked it up, so first of all, I'd seen them a long time ago and talked about them before. In fact, I remember kind of integrating them into my workouts way back when we interviewed and hung out with Scott Stevenson, who swears by them and loves them, is what made me go, oh, you know what? It's been a long time since I fucked around with cluster sets. And since him, I've been intermittently dropping them into my workouts on a fairly regular basis, and I absolutely love them. Now, what I did after talking to him and the protocol he talks about on the show, I went and just kind of started researching and Googling and looking up myself. And there's a billion different ways on like exactly what you do. Now, the idea though is that, okay, so let's say you pick a weight that you would normally do 4 or 5 sets at 8 reps. So think of the volume on that. So you could factor in whatever that weight is, 8 sets. 5 sets, 8 reps,
40 sets.
Yeah, right. And it's like right. Total reps is X amount. Whatever weight is X amount. That's your volume. When you cluster it, what ends up happening is you end up doing like 10 or 12 sets in an even shorter amount of time. And so you accomplish a significant amount more volume in a shorter period of time than you would over 5 sets.
Okay, so walk us through how you would do this.
So what I do is I pick a weight that I can do 8 to 12 reps. So let's just say bicep curls is an easy one to teach and explain to people. So I pick a weight that for me, I think for bicep curls like that is probably like 60 to 80 pounds, somewhere in there. Okay. But I only do 4 reps.
So you go 4, stop,
rest 15 seconds, pick it back up, 4 more.
Okay.
Rest 15 seconds, pick it back up, 4 more. And what ends up happening is...
Now, how long do you do that for?
I go till failure.
So you keep going until you can't do 4.
Right. Or till form breaks down.
Right. Well, that's what I mean.
Right.
So till you can't do 4 with good form.
Right. And what I kind of find out, or what I've found out is, or come to the conclusion that I get about... that same weight that I would do 5 sets of 8 to 12 reps, I end up getting like 10 sets out.
So you do 10 sets, 40 reps, or 4 reps each time. Or
yeah,
whatever.
well, I don't count sets. I go until
keep going.
Keep going by feel.
Yeah, I go by feel until I can't. But I keep track in my head mentally, like, that was the 7th set. Oh, that's the 8th. Now I'm starting to fatigue.
So it's a long ass set.
Yeah,
and you do 15 seconds
just
in between.
Pure volume focus.
Yes,
and just 15-second rest.
Yeah.
Now at the end of that, because that sounds exhausting. It sounds awesome.
It's how I like to finish a muscle.
Yeah, I want to try that. Actually.
I was just gonna say, would you then do? Let's say you were supposed to do 3 sets of an exercise. Is that all considered 1 set, or are you done?
Well, I think you're done.
Yeah.
So I typically would do something like I would start my workout, do something, and that I like to finish with a cluster set like that. Because it only takes you, it doesn't take you very long because of the short rest periods, but you end up getting a ton of volume in a very short period of time.
I did something similar than that, but I did a little longer rest. I did like 25-second, 30-second rest, but I did something similar. I got an insane pump from it. Insane pump from it.
I've got an insane pump from it too. That's why I like it.
Okay, so I think I'm going to start messing around with them a little bit and commenting. Now, from what I've seen, there was one study that was done on them, and the study showed that it was slightly more effective than straight sets. Now, here's where the caveat comes. Like all studies, it's a short period of time.
Right. So if you do the cluster sets all the fucking time,
probably going to lose its value.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like to intermittently throw it in there, and I do recommend people utilize it. I mean, especially if you guys all end up using it and falling in love with it, I wouldn't be surprised if it works its way into another MAPS program as something. It's something you could totally include now. Like I would just take, and personally, I think I've done it in almost everything now. I find it most valuable in single joint exercises. Doing it with chest kind of worked. It was cool. Like I did a cluster set with bench press. It was all right. but I really like it for arms, so bis and tris. Shoulders were pretty solid too. I liked it for shoulders. Not as big, even though it's cool, not as big of a fan for chest and back and legs. But
is it just because it's just gross motor movement? You're using too many muscles. You feel like you got too tired doing it.
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't get as many bicep curls. Man, I felt like I could get set after set after set after
Makes
set.
sense.
Where bench, like after I did bench, with a weight that is hard for me to do 8 to 10 reps. About that third or fourth set, I was already form was about to break down, so I wasn't able to prolong.
So my hunch with cluster sets is it's more of an advanced technique, something reserved for people who've been working out a little while, understand their body.
Anything that's going to drive you a little bit towards the failure end of it, I would say that's probably a little more on the advanced side, intermediate to advanced.
Now the other benefit is you could do. There's bar speed is probably better. So, when you're doing a set of 12 to, momentary failure or whatever, your bar speed is really slowing down after rep number 8. But if you're doing 4, rest, 4, rest.
I think that's why it's appealing. Somebody I like doing just few reps and really, concentrating on the mechanics of that. It does allow the fatigue isn't really as prevalent, but this will definitely how did it feel towards your 9th and 10th set?
Oh, your pump is crazy.
Yeah.
You get a massive pump from it. You feel great.
So as an advanced technique, this sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This isn't something that if there's somebody out there that's pushing it and selling it as the end all be all, it's not. I mean, it's another tool in your tool belt.
It's a great interrupter.
Yeah, it's another tool in your tool belt. It's a cool thing to intermittently do that. My suggestion to somebody trying it out is try it with a single joint exercise. Try it with a basic exercise like bicep curls or tricep push downs, or something that's pretty easy to adjust the weight and move real quick. And it's not a compound. There's not a lot of high risk. You're not loading it on your back or, barbell pressing something. Start with something like that. Pay attention to how you feel. I think it's a cool little tool.
Yeah. And you have to be really cognizant. This is another reason why. So there's 2 reasons why I would think it's for advanced trainees. One is the intensity involved. A cluster set's probably going to be too much intensity for the average person. It'll just kind of tip you over.
Yeah, if you're just getting started in your MAPS Anabolic program, this doesn't belong.
No, it's not going to help you. If anything, it'll hurt you. The second reason why I think this is more for advanced trainees is you have to understand, you have to be cognizant of the subtle changes in your form. So for me, for example, if I'm squatting or benching or rowing or deadlifting, I can tell when my form is 2 degrees off of perfect.
No, this is a very good point, because my definition of failure is very different from, I think, the average person that thinks what failure looks like.
I can do another one.
Right.
Yeah, you can, but not with anywhere near the form.
My failure normally means I can still squeeze out 3 more reps, but they're going to be ugly. I'm going to use body English. I'm going to use momentum. My form is going to break down. So for me, when I go to failure, it's till the form. As soon as my form breaks,
and you have to know your form really well to know that. The average person who's not advanced, they don't know when their form is really starting to break down until it's really broken down.
Right.
At which point the risk of injury is now astronomical.
Yeah, and not even if it's not you're doing bicycle curls, it's not astronomical. The risk versus reward isn't there.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a high risk, and is it really that? Are you really getting that much more bang for your buck to squeeze out those 2 last shitty reps? No, it's just not. You're not going to get major gains from that. So why risk it? Why do it?